let's go ahead and do that. Okay, welcome. The other thing I wanted to mention is, so herbalism is part of my background when I went to school, the School of Naturopathy. Big reason for going to the school is because of the herb program. Dr. Stephen Schechter was the director of this school, and he was world-renowned herbalist. And learning from him was just really key. And it actually was traditional Western herbs versus Chinese medicine. I was leaning towards Chinese medicine. And then I went to an open house, and he talked about herbs, and he was talking about, well, here we are in North America. What do we have? You know, let's get into what we have instead of always going out, you know, to some place. And there's great things everywhere. But it was like, yeah, it makes sense. Why don't we appreciate what we have here? And so that stuck with me, and I stayed with the program. This was actually introduced in his program, and I was telling somebody today, the Rosemary Gladstar was the person who started Mountain Rose Herbs. And this is Oregon, Washington area. And a lot of those herbalists live in that region. I was telling Vicki this. And my teacher was, he worked for herb companies, and he did conferences and stuff like that. He'd talk about herbs around the country. And he would go to those conventions, and I think he gravitated towards Mountain Rose Herbs. And they had the recipe. The origin beyond that is, if you're familiar with Young Living Oils, thieves oil, which is based on the grave robbers, what they used not to get sick. Black plague, right? So interesting, some of these ingredients come from that recipe used from the grave robbers, putting it on their handkerchief and putting it over their mouth, and going in raiding the tomb.
So they wouldn't get sick.
So they wouldn't get sick. Kills everything. And then you have the thieves oil. What do? You put it on a cotton ball, put it on your nose, breathe it in. Antibacterial, antibiotic type action. When you get on an airplane, you do stuff like that, right? So this fire cider can be used as a prevention. You can take it through the year. You can take it when you get sick. It, to my knowledge, doesn't boost the immune system. So when we think of echinacea, purpura, you think of something that's going to boost, give a charge, a kick to the immune system. She's over there.
Yeah.
And with this, the fire cider is something that cleanses in a way. So it's a blood purifier.
So it like bonds to it and
It just is like a stripper. A lot of the ingredients are like a pepper. When you have a pepper is considered a stripper. And it takes all, if you have anything in the body that's bacterial or congested, it takes it out. And the other ingredients, like the peppers, high in vitamin C, so that does give you a kick to the immune system. Any kind of pepper has vitamin C, and probably the highest source of vitamin C is like the cayenne pepper, yeah, or habanero, one of those peppers, red chili pepper.
Oh,
Didn't know that, did you?
yeah. No.
So then as you go down the list to everything has an action like that. Go ahead, Jim. Did you have a question? Oh, okay. There's somebody coming in. So then I was probably telling Vicki this, somebody, where I was talking about how herbs act versus a synthetic works. Yeah. Okay, so we have a pharmacist in the room, and she's staring at me. She's glaring at me right now because she knows what I'm talking about. Hey, it's all good, right? You're cool. You're cool. But it's different. It's just how they work. Everything works differently.
It's preventative, right?
This one is prevention. This one works as like to take it out. But it also works with your body. So your body's biodome, your body's system, your body's chemistry, your body's alkalinity, all that gets adjusted. And I think that's the beauty of how this works. And like I said, it's got the vitamin C, it's got the cleanser, it's got the alum family, the onion and the garlic are actually prebiotics. It's got the vinegar. What does vinegar do? Balances pH, right? It's a big one. So all these things kind of happen simultaneously with this concoction of ingredients. And that's another draw for using plants when you can. Plants read the body's DNA. Plant medicine, like herbs in general. Plants like these, spices, cooking things like that, cooking with spices, learning how to cook with spice and eat and adjust the body that way. Imagine you have a missing link and it needs to be filled, right? But everything else is okay. You just have one missing link, one rung in the ladder is gone. And you just need to fix that, right? You don't need to replace anything else. Well, the plants, they might have the power to wipe everything out, but they don't. They stop short, place the rung, and then they move on. And so you're not starting over again. You're going to go back into place that way. That is the one thing that sticks in my mind about how plants work with the body. Now, somebody's glaring at me again because she knows I want to say, oh, synthetics and pharmaceutical companies just wipe everything out. And what does that do? And then, oh, sorry, June. But it's not about that. We're not going one way or the other. I'm talking about plants and stuff like that. And I'm not a doctor, always consult with a doctor. So everything I say in this class, disclaimer, double check. Triple check. Okay, so let's begin. I started making fireside. So I've been doing this for 10 years, probably a little more than 10 years. And every year, it works out that I don't get overwhelmed sick. Last year, I got sick. I think it was food poisoning. And I had a bottle of fire cider that somebody bought for me, and I kept it in my van. And I was camping at the yoga retreat. And I never drank it because it wasn't mine. I didn't make it. And I was like, I'm going to drink it. And I chugged that thing. And within 2 hours, I was okay. I was back to normal. I got a sore throat just a couple days ago. It had the sweats. I took fire cider, 3 shots of fire cider, and the next day I was good. It was gone. And I'm back. Never missed a day of work. So this is what I started with, the mason jar, which is key. And then I went into the ingredients one by one. And I'm going to start with, this is the finished. This is what it looks like finished. This is mine. So that gives you an idea how you want to pack it. You don't, no, this is mine. Somebody wants it. Somebody said they want it. This is, okay, so I packed the ginger. This is, I'll try to get good light. I got the window here. Okay, so I packed the ginger. I'm going to set it out here. I packed the garlic. Okay, some good light.
So you want to leave the garlic whole. Let's see. What am
I chopped the garlic.
Oh, you do?
So I got the cloves of garlic.
And then you
There
chop.
we go.
You
Ginger sliced and the garlic chopped. But not minced.
Not minced. You could mince it. Now, some people mince it, right?
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
Okay.
So the question was minced or chopped. Like if you chop something, these herbs, they hold together in the vinegar. If you mince it, it breaks down quicker. And
Right.
then you get this big mush pile, right? You want it to hold its, the stability, you want to hold its form, pull the ingredients out of it, and it's going to start turning to mush after about 5-6 weeks. But you don't want it to get, like some people pulverize it.
So you don't want to leave it whole, though, you want to cut it in half.
Oh yeah.
In half or even a little bit more.
Yeah, you could do, the reason I chop the garlic is because there's a little bit of a center in there, and I forget what it's called,
Yeah, that little.
but there's like a little, what's it called? Yeah, it looks like a little stem inside the garlic, and when you cut it in half, you get that little ring. Cut it in half and it releases. So when it's sealed, it doesn't release as easy. But when you chop, just one chop, I cut it in half and it just releases the constituents better, easier in the vinegar. And then I go to the onions. These are white onions. These are white onions, organic. And that's another thing I mentioned. You don't have to go organic. I went organic. I tend to just because, you know, but it's a preference.
So Ben, those onions are chopped or sliced chunks?
Yeah, you know what I did with the onions? I don't know if you can see that.
No,
No?
they're like cubed.
Yeah.
Oh, cute.
Well,
So what
it's
I
hard
did
to
is,
see.
yeah, it's hard to see. I have really bad light.
Okay, no, that's good. Okay.
What
Cute.
what I did is you cut the onion in half, and then you turn both halves down, and then you go slice, 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 one direction, and then you go chop, chop, chop. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll
Okay.
throw it in. And that's about the right size that you want.
Have you ever used red?
I haven't used a red onion, but you could. You could use, I used sweet onions by accident once.
Did it change it at all?
No, seemed to work. So here are the.
Say that again?
I used sweet onions once by accident. I grabbed sweet onions and I made a couple batches with sweet onion. It seemed to work. Tasted good.
So you said it didn't, I couldn't, you said it couldn't work, it didn't work?
Sure worked. It worked great.
Oh, okay.
And now you got the
What is that?
horseradish. This is what this helps.
Oh, the horseradish. Okay.
There you go. Or you see how I cut it. Now, if you've ever looked at horseradish root, it looks like it looks like gobo root, or it looks like a big carrot, or a rutabaga.
Yeah.
And it's tough. This is the onion.
Okay.
But I think he got it at Albertsons.
The horseradish?
Yeah. No, they were out till Monday. There's the garlic.
Okay.
I got this at Safeway.
Oh, okay.
But all the stores carry it.
Okay.
They all, no,
Yeah, Ben,
that's ginger.
on that ginger and horseradish, you don't peel that. You don't peel it?
Yeah, I do. That's a
Oh,
great
you do?
question. So you can see this ginger, it's peeled.
Okay,
Okay, so peel. Okay.
And I chopped it. You can see it's like it chip
but I
chop.
didn't see any dark stuff really in there. That's why I figured you must have, peeled it.
Yeah, I peel all of it. Anything that's gonna make what I think difficult for it to come out. You want it to kind of bleed out, right? Easy. So I peel it, leftovers. Now, cinnamon. Now we had somebody run to get some cinnamon because I didn't get that yesterday. So I added the cinnamon. Now this is cinnamon sticks chopped up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I broke up the cinnamon. This is usually what I do, is I'll break up the cinnamon sticks. And I'll add,
Oh, okay.
not that whole thing. I'll add probably a tablespoon. And you know what I forgot to get? I forgot to get my other spices.
Low. We can add red pepper.
Where are they?
You get them. Right there at my house or at the store.
No, I've got them here. So I'm gonna have to, I might have to step away for a second because I've got the ingredients and spices. No, you know where they are? Where? Oh yeah, go ahead and look.
What portion did you say?
What is that?
And this is an addition. This
What
is
is that?
chopped habanero.
Habanero.
How do you spell that?
H. Habanero.
I think it's Habanero.
N-E-R-O. Habanero.
Habanero.
And is that a pepper? What is that? In
I
Canada,
know.
I'm not sure.
Habanero. Okay, so you want habanero in here too.
This is optional.
Habanero is optional.
This is one habanero pepper.
Oh, it's a pepper. Okay.
Okay.
Habanero pepper.
And how much, like, how many of each of these about goes into a jar? Do you just,
I'm gonna make one for you.
okay, I mean,
And
yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
like,
I'm gonna show
when
you.
you're at the grocery store, do you just like,
Yeah.
guess? Okay.
I don't think it is. I think it's back here in my room. Or let me step away for 2 seconds and see if I can find the thing, and then we're gonna make the actual. We're gonna put all the ingredients in, and I'm gonna show you the amount of each. Okay, but I want to get the cloves. I want to get the black peppercorns and the cayenne pepper. So hold on 2 seconds.
I was wondering like quantities, because I'm like, he's not telling us how much to put in, so it's probably really kind of hard to know exactly the amount.
Well,
You know?
when we were just at this flea market or whatever it was, I just bought one ginger root. I bought 2 things of garlic. I bought 1 onion, but I wasn't really sure either. So that's just what I kind of started with. And then I thought I'll wait and see how much I need. So,
Okay, guys.
Okay. Oh, the peppercorns. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Peppercorn.
Peppercorn.
Black peppercorns. Yeah. Okay. Oh, cayenne pepper. Okay. So cayenne.
Organic cayenne pepper. There it is.
Okay.
What's up?
Cloves.
Okay.
Oh,
And
whole
it's
cloves.
whole thing.
Cloves.
Okay.
And this. Yeah. And this is non-GMO.
Of course. Of course, it's non-GMO.
or,
Apple cider vinegar. Okay.
oh, I thought-
Organic.
no.
Apple cider vinegar is the main ingredient. So each ingredient, I'm going to talk about the main property of. So I'm going to take my ingredients. You've seen, I laid them out. I went to the grocery store. I bought based on volume. Each thing is different. Like garlic is small and dense. Onions are big and airy. The horseradish root, very dense. The cinnamon, the ginger, stuff like that. So you look at it by volume, and basically you want equal parts of each ingredient except for ginger. Ginger is about a third. So you got equal, a third, equal. And then when you go to the habanero pepper, the black peppercorns, and the cayenne pepper, all that stuff's very light because it's very powerful. Okay? So you don't want to overwhelm the product and make it so you can't use it.
Dan, I have a question.
Okay?
I had a problem last year with my lid rusting with the vinegar. What's the cure for that?
Oh,
Replace the lid because it could have been an old jar.
No, I don't think so.
Brand new jar?
Mhm.
Okay.
Grandma used to put wax paper.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You could put a cloth in there, wax paper in the lid. The question was the lid rusted.
Yep.
Somebody's, yeah, the acidic or whatever. Yeah.
So wax paper.
Wax paper, change the lid, buy a plastic lid,
Where can you find plastic?
go to Albertsons. Right where they sell the jars, anywhere they sell the mason jars, they have plastic lids.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Go,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, go for those, they'll last you. Okay, so now in any order, I don't really, but once I start an order, if I'm making a batch, I keep the order. That's just because I'm type A. Yeah, I'm OCD, I'm not type A. Let's get it straight. Okay, so my hands are clean, I've been using this stuff, and I'm gonna take horseradish root, I'm gonna pack the jar, and I go by eye. You know, if you've ever had one of those the cooks that say they go by plop and dollops,
That's what
they,
you do.
they measure like that, yeah. So I got like that, horseradish root.
How much do you think that is if you go buy that at the store? Is that like 2 roots, 1 root? Because I've never seen it before.
The roots are all different sizes, like buying
Okay.
ginger. You get a big one, you get a big monster, looks like a tree limb, and then you get little ones that look like twigs and stuff. And so you just gotta go by volume and you guess. You guess.
Okay.
If you have some leftover, you could probably make a little batch, right?
You can make a little batch and a smaller volume batch, or you can use it in cooking. So I'm gonna throw a little extra in there.
But I thought you said ginger you left of and you did.
You do.
That was horseradish root or
With horseradish.
So that's horseradish root, equal part. And then I got onions coming up next. Now onions are like airy, light. You think of them as like they fall apart easier compared to horseradish. And then so I'm taking a handful. You guys can't see what I'm doing. And I'm putting it in the jar.
So you just filled the jar like 1/3 with each item?
Kind of. Kind of equal part.
Okay.
And remember, so there's like half and half. Half onion, half,
Oh, that's a lot.
yeah.
That's more than.
Jars are
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm just gonna listen.
Okay. Now the garlic. I'm going for the garlic, and it's already been chopped up, so it's all ready to go. Now garlic is smaller parts per volume, so I'm not going to pack as much. I'm not going to need, because realistically, it's so much smaller, more dense. You're getting more for the surface that you're trying to cover. So what I do, it's going to look like this is where you go through a lot of garlic. If you're making this, buy a lot of garlic, because it goes quick, because it's small and to fill it up. So this is like 4 handfuls, and you can see what it looks like that.
Okay.
Now, it's not anywhere near the size of, but there's more in there more garlics in there compared to the horseradish and stuff. So now I'm going to ginger. Now ginger is where I'm not going to add as much. Now it's big like the horseradish and the onions, so I'm not going to add the same volume. I might add, like I was saying, a third. So I might add like enough to cover that surface, right? So it looks a little bit like just cover the top there.
Okay.
And maybe a little more than that. I might add one more right to fill up that little space. Because I don't like empty spaces. Cram it in there. Don't be afraid to squish it. Push it in there. Get it in there tight. And then, for my batch here, I can look at it from there and say, hey, you know what? I can add a little more garlic. Topping it off.
Why are you saying you're adding garlic?
Just smaller. And it'll, oops. So I like to top it off a little bit.
Okay.
Even, just, you don't have to. And then I'm moving on to the habanero. This is optional. I already chopped it. I showed you guys one habanero. Careful. Now, you have to make a commitment not to rub your eyes or pick your nose after doing it.
Yeah.
Well, but Ben, could you just
Yeah.
stop for a moment? So seriously, like I'm not familiar with these peppers. Don't touch your eyes or any face or anything.
Seriously,
Oh, okay, okay. So they're very powerful.
very powerful. And it'll burn for hours.
Oh, okay, okay.
Got it.
Like touching it raw and then touching your eyes.
Yeah, you even wash your hands and think, oh, I'm clear. And then, oh my gosh, my eyes are on fire. Yeah.
I'm gonna use gloves, man.
Yeah, you can use gloves.
No.
Okay, now I'm going with the cinnamon, and this will give you an idea of the cinnamon. Like this.
Oh, just a little. Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna lightly dust the top with cinnamon. See that?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, now I'm gonna go with the peppercorns. I don't have an exact amount of the peppercorns, but I'd say like 9 to 10 peppercorns. That might be on the high side for you. So what I do is I go little shake, oops, a little too much. Okay, and then right there we go, like that.
Is the peppers on your peppercorn?
Yeah.
Okay.
They could be also the peppercini or the peppers that we use. Okay, next is cloves. Oh, I didn't talk about the ingredients, did I? Okay, so, and that reminded me with cloves, because cloves is like, I think, the main ingredient. I think when you think of the grave robbers, cloves is what they discovered was like the main thing that does the killing. Keeps your blood pure. Okay, now this stuff works in antibacterial, antibiotic, antifungal, you name it, it's got it. And they use it as a carminative in cooking, so it's also good for your digestion.
And how many do you have?
6.
And that's about 6 of them.
Yeah, that's exactly 6. And I did that without even looking. 10 years. Did I say
Magic.
Yeah. I got it down. Okay, there we go. That's what it looks like on top. Little peppercorns, cloves, a little out of focus, cinnamon, habaneros, garlic, ginger, onions, horseradish.
And you need peppercorns whole?
Yeah. Now what's next is the cayenne pepper. If you have a measuring, now what I would say about the cayenne pepper, not for everybody. So you might wait till your 6 weeks is up and you strain this out and taste it. If it's hot enough, if it's just what you can handle, don't add the cayenne. If you want to add it then, you can add it then to taste. I've done this so I know what I like and I know what's doable. It's about 1/8 of a teaspoon, or I do 9 shakes. 1, 2, 3, yeah. And so I'll go 9 shakes.
That's more than an 8, that's more than
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That's totally doable.
It's doable.
8. Yeah, I would think that.
It's not bad.
Not for me, but.
It'll go through. So you can have that. And I put the cayenne on there.
But you can also do it after 6 weeks.
You can. If you are nervous about hot, you don't like hot, and you don't want to overdo it, wait, and put it in later so you can taste it. Yeah, Vicky's saying, yep, that's me.
I better wait.
Better wait. Yeah, because you don't want to make it so you can't take it. It's like,
Totally. Yeah.
yeah. So, and it's vitamin C component. And I'm going to backtrack before I add the vinegar. Ginger. Now there's, and I'm terrible with names, but there's an herbalist out there, and he has basically minimized his whole herbal apothecary to ginger for everything. Ginger for everything. You name it.
Yeah, makes it easy.
Nausea, yeah. He boiled it down to like one herb. And so when you think of anything, ginger probably applies. Nausea. The word for nausea, yeah. Yeah. Stomach flu. Flu. A lot of things. It's a carminative. So people use, and you don't need that much, do the water, the tea. And this mainly comes from cold and flu. People who do cold and flu, you'll commonly hear ginger. Ginger with elderberry, ginger with everything else, honey, lemon, you name it. Onions is, to me, it's antibacterial, it's a lot of those things, but it's also a prebiotic. Prebiotic, this is what you do is if you take probiotics, antibiotics, and you go right to probiotics after you've done your antibiotics, they don't stick. So what you want to do is do 2 weeks of like prebiotics. This could be fermented foods, alum family like onions, garlic. So we got those 2 in there. Vinegar, yogurt, kefir, kimchi. Yeah, all that stuff, you do that, it builds up the biodome, it builds up the floor, the base, the pre-soil, and then the probiotics stick. And June, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong at any of these points, but I'm staying close.
You're doing a good job, Ben.
Okay, good. Staying safe. And then you go to the cinnamon, the clove, and the black peppercorns. Black peppercorns and cayenne, stripper, so that gets rid of the old bacteria. The other ones, the cinnamon and the cloves, also, those are big antibacterials. Any one of these on their own would work pretty good for your cold and flu. So the idea that you're putting them all together in a synergistic way is really what
I have a question
I
then.
think that makes a difference.
So if somebody's sensitive, say, to one of the ingredients on there, like onion,
Yep.
what would you add, like more ginger, leave the onion out, or like
Yeah.
more garlic?
Well, and just
Or
like
the
what
other
I
ingredients?
said, every one of these ingredients on its own
Is helpful.
is
so-
probably strong if that's
Right.
all you did. So if you didn't like onions, for instance, and you had to take it out, omit the onion, garlic is part of that family.
Right.
So add
Yeah.
more garlic.
Yeah.
And make up for it. And so now I'm going to take the vinegar and pour. Oh, yeah. Try not to Everybody's
Don't
laughing.
make him laugh.
No, I'm being good. I'm gonna get stage fright. Oh, top it off.
Whoa.
So this is what I do. I top it off. Look at that.
Oh, away.
Would you look at that?
Lovely.
Oh. Okay, take the lid. Tap it off. Got everything tight. Shake it up. Yeah.
Oh,
Shake it. Okay, so what'll happen is as the weeks go, you shake it every day.
Okay.
Shake it every day in the morning. Put this in a cool, dark place. You don't have to open it. You will put a date on it. You will date it 9/13/20. And 6 weeks, it should be ready. You shake it every day, and you will look at the volume, it will go down because it'll absorb into the product. So after about a week or so, I'll open it up, I'll add vinegar.
Okay.
Oh,
So you
Add
top
more
it off.
vinegar. Yeah, I'll
Keep adding
top it
more
off
vinegar.
again. So that way I get more volume out of it. And then it'll reabsorb in there.
Does it ever go bad?
What's that?
Does it ever go bad?
Okay, good question.
Yeah.
So date it, go 6 weeks, but check it every day when this starts to break down. I talked about that. This herb, that's why we want it kind of chunky, is because you don't want it to break down too fine, so it makes it difficult to strain out, and you don't want to get mush. So you look for it to break down. At 5 weeks, if it's breaking down, it's ready. If it's turning to menstruum, it breaks down to powder, it disintegrates, and then it's basically ready at that point. But most time you go 6 weeks, it'll be good. It won't bubble. It decomposes. It might form a vacuum. And so this is good from the time you use it. 6 months is what's standard. So
that's kept at room temperature.
that's kept at room temperature. You don't refrigerate it.
You don't.
You don't.
Okay.
I keep it on the shelf. I keep it in a cool, dark shelf. You can bottle it. So I use tincture bottles. Now, what I do, it's so much easier to get the tincture bottles. Bottle these guys, keep them with you, put them in your bag,
Yeah.
put them at home,
I have a bunch of
put them on the kitchen sink. In the morning, shoot, you pop it.
Just like a dropper full.
One dropper full. So let's talk about the dose.
Yeah.
So typically in herbal medicine, you have a therapeutic dose and a preventative dose. And in tinctures, this would be 1 teaspoon, 1 dropper full. So I'll squeeze 1 dropper full, and then that's about 30 drops. That's 1 tablespoon, 1 a day
Okay.
for prevention.
Okay.
If you go 3 times a day, that's considered therapeutic. So if you were sick, 3 times a day.
Tablespoon
Right.
each time.
1 dropper full, 3
3
times
times
a
a
day.
day. Okay.
Not 1 drop. Yeah, was that you?
No, but
I've done that before. Only taken 1 drop and I got sick. And I was like, what the heck?
That
You're
was
telling me,
you. Yeah.
you're like, April, was not enough. I'm like, aw.
So then when that all starts breaking down, do you take the stuff out of it or just leave it in there? That's
Perfect question. Okay, so we made the fire cider. We let it go 6 weeks. It started breaking down.
yeah.
What do we do with it?
Filter.
You strain it out, and this is how I do it. I'll take a bowl. I'll take like a salad bowl or something, stainless steel bowl, whatever. You take your strainer, not a colander, but like a wire mesh strainer. Put it over the bowl, dump it. Dump all your product. Now, here's another trick. Line the strainer with cheesecloth.
Cheesecloth, okay.
Or a cotton
Yeah.
rag towel. So that's going to catch all the material and it's going to allow you to wring it out.
And then you can wring it out.
So you put it in the cheesecloth inside the basket, wrap it up tight, and then just wring it, keep wringing it, because that's the good stuff.
Okay, so
Yeah. Get all that
it's
out.
okay if it has some like chunks and stuff in it then?
Well,
Or would you just restrain it again?
Yeah, what'll happen is you'll get that out, you'll get all the meat out of all the juice out of the meat, and then throw that away, put it in your compost or whatnot, and then you go back to your liquid, and you can do the same thing over again. You can take the cheesecloth, dump it through another bucket, double strain it, and that'll get all the little fine particulates out. It'll make it nicer.
Okay.
But when this sits, it's gonna settle. And you'll get a layer of sediment at the bottom. And you'll be able to see it separate. It's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, totally.
And you're just getting the liquid on top anyway. So you can keep it in a jar. You can do actual tablespoon.
Okay.
You can put it in a tincture bottle.
Yeah.
You can put it in a bunch. And then have them scattered throughout the house.
Yeah.
Put them in your kid's backpack. That's the other thing, is safe for kids. You know, check the ingredients for allergies, but most of these things safe for kids, not taste friendly for kids. They're not gonna thank you for that.
It builds good
But
character.
it builds character. Okay. Any other questions? We're gonna look down here. No?
No botulism?
No.
Yes, please, for my face.
Question, June. We'll get sick from botulism.
That stuff will kill you.
That'd be me. I'd be the person. I'll come see you, June.
I think it's pretty safe. Okay, so I've already got my cayenne pepper at the bottom. Looks like the cloves are migrating down. A lot of the stuff's moving in. It's got good color. So yours, if you do make it, that gives you an idea of the color we're looking at. And remember, you don't have to do the habanero. That's a lot of material,
Yeah.
right? But it'll give you.
Hey, Ben.
Go
Dan,
ahead.
can you hold that up again? Can you hold that up again? I just want to take a picture of it.
Okay. And then
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
it should render about
Yeah.
this much
Wow.
liquid, about 2/3. It should give you about 2/3 of whatever that
So
is.
you said you just keep though adding apple cider vinegar for until the 6 weeks or just once?
No, just once.
So
Okay.
just after the meat, only one time.
Yeah, the question was adding apple cider, probably just once. Let it go a week or two, and then look at it, knowing that you want to top it off.
Okay.
I'm waiting for it to go down. I'm waiting, as I shake it, I was like, oh, I got some space there. I'll open it up, look, oh, I can add some more vinegar.
Okay.
And I will do that. I will watch it as I'm working with it through the month.
Apple cider with the mother.
What's that?
Apple cider, do you have to put in the one with the mother?
No. Apple cider vinegar with the mother. Okay, so now if I look at this apple cider vinegar, organic apple cider vinegar, you can see down there at the bottom.
Is it filtered?
Oh, yeah.
Like Bragg will work, right, too? Like,
This is raw.
Oh, yeah.
This is raw, unfiltered with the mother. So basically,
Yeah.
the mother is the SCOBY, or the bacterial yeast. And This, you will see it, it says right there, raw, unfiltered with the mother,
Yeah.
okay? Now, most raw, unfiltered, and I should have said that, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, it's gonna have that.
Yeah.
It's a given, okay? But yeah, organic, Bragg's is the good brand. I got Organics brand because I saved a buck. I made the price point on this, you know, it's a good investment, but it isn't cheap to make this stuff. You know, I spent $150 and I made 8 or 9 jars of this. So go figure, break that down. But you're gonna buy jars. You can get jars at the Goodwill. You can go places and just get little jars, pick it out. You don't have to buy the big case. You probably have jars on hand, and then look for the plastic lids. It's a great idea because the rust. And then you'll have it. You can keep it. It's a good idea to have a little bit, I think, of an inventory of jars, lids. You know, using a glass bottle, I drink out of one of these. And it's the only time when I started drinking water out of a glass jar, it made me really be aware of my water intake because I was responsible for this glass jar. And I kept it with me all the time, always had my water. And otherwise, I leave it. I'll leave plastic bottles everywhere. And I'll leave even those thermos, you spend money on those tin thermoses and stuff like that. I leave those things everywhere.
Yeah, that's been with me for a while. But.
So good to have. And this is the second Roots of Herbalism class. I want to thank everybody for their participation. And it's something I've been wanting to do. Like I said, for the past 10 years, I haven't really been able to put something together. So even though it's not the best circumstances, Zoom has made this really possible, believe it or not. Having the Zoom and getting creative and kind of going outside the box a little bit with class format. So again, thank you, everybody. If there are no other questions.
Thank you.
this
And
will-
I have a question.
Oh, I
You,
don't-
Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you,
Excellent.
guys. Okay.
Okay,
Have
see
a
you
great,
tomorrow.
all right. Have a great day and good luck. If you
Great
have
day,
any,
everyone.
if you have any
Bye.
other questions,
Bye.
let me know. Okay, bye.